When we look at movies that portray a psychopathic character, one of the first that comes to mind is Lou Bloom from Nightcrawler. A character with an empty soul searching for a purpose. And throughout the movie, we watch Lou go from a small-time thief with nothing to his name to a successful businessman at the top of his field. But the way he gets there is something only a person like Lou would be capable of. Join me as I'm gonna take a closer look into the mind of Lou Bloom with how he thinks, how he moves and how he managed to climb to the top. We first meet Lou Bloom in Los Angeles somewhere at night, stealing metal from a fence for some reason. And already in this moment something feels off. He gets caught by a security guard and within seconds he attacks him and takes his watch. No anger, no panic, just a decision. And that's what stood out to me the most when I first watched this scene. Because most people, when they get caught, they react, they might hesitate or even try to explain themselves and for sure panic. But Lou doesn't do any of that. For him, it's just a decision and then action. And that moment tells you everything you need to know about how Lou sees the world. Not through right or wrong, but through outcome. And if something benefits him, he will for sure do it. A bit after, we see that he goes to sell the stolen metal and he treats it like a normal business interaction. He even negotiates. And on the surface, it almost sounds right, like he knows what he's doing. But when you really listen to him, something feels off.
Excuse me, sir. I'm looking for a job. In fact, I've made up my mind to find a career that I can learn and grow into. Who am I? I'm a hard worker. I set high goals, and I've been told that I'm persistent. Now, I'm not fooling myself, sir.
The words are there, but the understanding isn't. It's like he studied how successful people talk and is now repeating it. And this is actually something you see in real psychology. Because a lot of high-functioning psychopaths don't lack intelligence, they lack emotional depth. So instead of naturally connecting with people, they learn to simulate connections, they mirror behavior, they copy tone. They might say the right things, but there's nothing real underneath it. And therefore, instead of feeling authentic, they feel unnatural, like something is just missing. And that's when I started to look at Lou differently. Because he doesn't just act differently. He feels like he's someone who is learning how to be a human in real time. He observes people, he copies behavior, he adjusts based on what works. And because of that, failure doesn't affect him in a way it would affect most people. He gets rejected for a job, but instead of feeling embarrassed or discouraged, he just moves on. Because to Lou, it's not a rejection, it's information. And that's actually a dangerous mindset. Because in psychology, there's this idea that behavior gets reinforced when it leads to a reward. So if you do something and it works, you're more likely to repeat it. Now for most people, empathy acts as a limit. For example, you're not gonna steal money from a blind person even if you know it will work every time, because you know it will feel wrong. However, Lou doesn't seem to have that limit. And so when something works, he just keeps going. And that's exactly why the moment he sees the cameraman filming a car crash, everything clicks. Because now, he's not just seeing the event, he's seeing the system behind it. He's seeing that tragedy has value, that footage can be sold, that there's a demand for this. And more importantly, he realized that this is a system where his way of thinking actually works. But here's where it gets uncomfortable. Because Lou isn't creating the demand, he just responded to it. And if you think about it, this isn't just a movie concept. In real life, news outlets, social media and even YouTube, they all reward attention. And what gets attention? Mostly conflict, violence, emotion. So the more extreme something is, the more people watch, and therefore the more valuable it becomes. So when Lou starts getting closer to crime scenes, taking bigger risks, crossing more boundaries, he's not breaking the system, he's playing it perfectly. One of the most disturbing moments in the movie is when he arrives at a crime scene before the police, Because instead of reacting, he starts adjusting. He's moving the body and framing the shot. And again, there's no hesitation. Because in his mind, this isn't wrong. It's just better. And this is where Lou becomes something else. Because he's no longer just documenting reality. He's shaping it. Now, most people, when they see something like that, they feel something. Guilt, discomfort, doubt. But Lou doesn't. And therefore, nothing stops him. And you see the same pattern in his relationship. Take Rick for example. Rick is someone that was desperately looking for a job at the beginning. He needs money, he needs a direction, and Lou sees that immediately.
Hey, well, I'm Rick, of course. I took 3 buses to get here. I finished high school. I need a job. I'll do pretty much anything. That's me. Hi, Rick.
So he hires him, but underpays him, pushes him, but never supports him. Because for Lou, Rick isn't a partner. He's leverage, having complete control over him right until the end.
You saw him.
I can't jeopardize my company's success to retain an untrustworthy employee.
You're crazy.
And then we have Nina. She is a morning news director for a struggling TV station. At first, she has the power because Lou was just starting and trying to get some work. But Lou studies her. He learns what she needs, what she fears, and what she depends on. And then he uses it against her.
I happen to know that you haven't stayed at one station for longer than 2 years at a time, and you're coming up on 2 years soon. I can imagine that your contract is for that length of time, and that next month's ratings directly affect that.
So you're threatening that if I don't...
I'm negotiating.
You're threatening to stop selling to me.
That's your choice. You want something, and I want you.
Shifting the power to his hand, making Nina desperate and doing whatever he asks her to do. And that's the key difference with Lou. He doesn't lose control. He removes everything that would have controlled him. But the moment that really defines him is near the end. When he knows exactly where the criminals are. He could call the police, he could stop what is about to happen, but instead he waits because he wants the perfect shot. And this is where the film truly starts to reveal what Lou has become. Because he's no longer reacting to events, he's allowing them to happen. And the scary part, it works. He gets the footage he wants, he gets the money, he builds his company, and from the outside it looks like a success, because he figured life out. But when you really think about it, Lou Bloom isn't just a character. He's a reflection of what happens when success is separated from morality. Because if you take away empathy, if you take away guilt, if you take away hesitation, then what's left? Well, it's efficiency. And that's exactly what Lou is. Not chaotic, not emotional, just efficient. He didn't become this way over time. He simply found a system that rewarded who he already was, and once he understood the rules, he followed them, step by step, decision by decision, and therefore everything that happened to him was inevitable.
I will never ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do myself.